All right. I'll have someone contact you every Friday to pay. Where would you like to meet?
Well, I have lunch every day between 1 and 2.
If you were wondering where my family is from, they're from Erie. And if you were wondering what our slogan is, we love Erie. And if you were wondering where our fair city is, it's by the lake. And if you were wondering what our famous catchphrase is, we love Erie.
How do you manage as well as you do on a salary of $6,000 a year? Huh? Taxes, 2 girls to clothe, life insurance, payments on the house, 2 cars.
You think you've seen it all when it comes to political scandals? Well, today we're diving into a story from the 1950s that's got everything: a popular mayor, a secret gambling ring, and a high-tech sting operation that feels like it was ripped right out of an old detective movie. This is the incredible story of Erie, Pennsylvania's 1954 protection racket scandal. And it all comes down to one single date: October 16th, 1954. On this Saturday night in Erie, Pennsylvania, a chain of events kicked off that would totally unravel the city's government. It all started with what looked like a massive anti-gambling raid. But, well, it turned out to be so much more than that.
So picture this. That night, warrants are flying, and bam, 39 people get picked up all across the city. You had crowds gathering on the streets just to watch the arrest go down, rumors spreading like wildfire. The whole city was buzzing, but nobody, and I mean nobody, knew how big this whole thing really was. This number, 39, was just the tip of the iceberg.
But here's the thing. The real shockwave, the thing that really rocked the city to its core, it wasn't just how many people got arrested. No, it was who got caught in the crosshairs. This wasn't about some low-level bookies. This went all the way to the top. And yeah, the names that came out, they absolutely stunned everybody. We're talking about the mayor himself, Thomas Flattley, a really popular guy. You've got the inspector of police, Jack Martin. Then there's the county Democratic chairman, Stanley Schwartz, and even a police officer, Edward Camilli. So, you gotta be asking yourself, right? How does a beloved, popular mayor like Tom Flattley get himself tangled up in an illegal gambling operation? Well, the answer is a pretty simple but really effective system of corruption they called a protection ring. Let me show you how this whole thing worked. It was a pretty straightforward deal, actually. The local gamblers, mostly guys running the illegal numbers racket, which was kind of like an old-school lottery, they'd pay a fee every month, and for that cash, the Erie Police Department just looked the other way. It was a guarantee. No arrests, no trouble. It was just a cost of doing business paid directly to the people who were supposed to be stopping them. And the way they ran this thing, man, it was a smooth operation. Super simple, but super effective. So, step 1, the gamblers make their payments. Step 2, that money gets collected by Inspector Martin and Chairman Schwartz. Then, they divvy up the cash, sometimes right there in the mayor's office, and stuff it into envelopes. And finally, everybody gets their piece of the pie. The mayor's take was usually about $500 a month. So how much money are we talking about here? Well, the ring was pulling in about $1,500 a month. Now, that might not sound like a fortune today, but get this. Mayor Flattley later admitted in his confession that these illegal payoffs effectively doubled his official salary. So he wasn't just turning a blind eye. He was making a serious profit from the city's criminal underworld. Okay, so if the cops and the mayor are all in on it, who's going to stop them? Well, it turns out the district attorney's office had something up its sleeve. It launched this incredibly clever and, for the 1950s, super high-tech investigation. And this is where the story really starts to feel like a movie. People at the time said it best. They described the investigation as having all the trademarks of a TV detective program. Because seriously, the DA's office wasn't just doing regular police work. They were using cutting-edge surveillance that nobody had really seen before. And it's exactly how they built a case that was absolutely airtight. I mean, this was some serious spy stuff for the 1950s. They had an inside man, an undercover cop named Russell Verga. They had investigators watching payoffs from inside an unmarked blue van with tinted windows. They shot hundreds of feet of actual film footage of the money changing hands. And the kicker? They strapped a hidden Minifon microphone to their undercover officer to get live audio. This was an absolutely wild operation for 1954.
So, with this mountain of evidence, we're talking film, audio recordings, and inside man. The DA had everything he needed. The net was closing in. And for the city's popular Mayor Flattley, well, the fall was going to be fast and it was going to be hard. And just watch how fast this all unraveled. On Sunday, the day after the raid, he's defiant. He denies everything, refuses to resign. But the evidence was just too much. Pretty soon, he admits the payoffs doubled his salary. And then, just 2 days after the raid, he's out. He steps down as mayor. By early December, he walks into a courtroom and pleads guilty to everything.
So for all of this, the conspiracy, the bribery, breaking his oath of office, what did he get? You might be surprised. His sentence was just 1.5 to 3 years in prison. So why so light? Well, it turns out the very people he betrayed actually came to his rescue. His supporters, the ordinary folk of Erie, started a massive petition campaign begging the judge to go easy on him, and it actually worked.
But this is where the story takes a darker turn. You have to ask, why were people so quick to forgive the mayor but not the others involved? Well, the answer reveals something pretty ugly about 1950s Erie. It exposed this deep-seated prejudice, this fear of outsiders that completely shaped how justice was handed out.
Just look at the numbers. Of the 39 people arrested that first night, a whopping 2/3, 67%, were of Italian descent. Now keep in mind, the guy at the top of the pyramid was an Irish-American mayor. But the public story, the narrative, quickly started to blame the Italian-American community for the city's problems. And the difference in how they were treated is just, it's night and day. On one side, you have Mayor Flattley, the guy running the whole show, getting letters of support. On the other side, the Italian-American defendants are getting hit with newspaper headlines screaming about a mafia invasion. At one point, the foreman of the grand jury actually said the court should just hang all the defendants. It's just shocking. And if you need any more proof of the prejudice at play, get this. The district attorney himself, the guy prosecuting the case, wore a revolver, a gun, in the courtroom during the trials. His reason? He said he'd feel naked without it if he ran into any of the defendants on the street. The message was loud and clear. In his mind, their Italian last names automatically meant they were violent mobsters. So this whole scandal, it's not just about a corrupt mayor, right? It really forces you to ask a tough question. The powerful guy at the top gets a slap on the wrist thanks to his popularity, while dozens of others are branded as violent criminals by the press and even by the court. It makes you wonder, when a system breaks down like this, when justice is served, who is it that really ends up paying the price?